You guys thought by the title of this video we are in bed, but by
So we have changed scenery. I don't know how many times on this podcast, and you guys are probably tired of it. But if you're tired of it, then just go listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You don't need the visual. The visual has been very hard for us to get down. But in case you guys don't follow J&J Vlogs, which you should go subscribe right now, we have moved all of our life belongings into our master bedroom.
yes, guys, go check out J&J. I'm pretty sure everyone that's here with the podcast follows J&J, but just in case you don't, go check it out. Go check out the moving video. But yeah, like my lovely, beautiful wife of a co-host said, we are in the room because my parents are moving in with us for a short period of time while they find a home.
Yep. So this is going to be basically probably the background for the next few podcasts because this is the best we can give you guys. So I hope you guys like it, and if not, again, plug. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any podcast platform that you use. But let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, and check out, guys, when you go to Apple, can they do this on Spotify? Give us ratings?
I don't know. I think only
Yeah.
Apple.
But go give us 5-star ratings, guys. Or honestly, be honest with yourself. If it's a 4.8, whatever. But go and rate us, guys. It's so cool that we already have ratings there. The other day, Julissa checked and we're like, babe, we literally have 5 stars on Apple. So don't go and ruin that just because now I told you guys. But go and help us out. It would mean a lot to us.
Yep. Today we're gonna do a little life update, just a little one because I feel like we always update you guys because our life is chaos right now. But life update, go babe.
Life update with a little bit of, I think this podcast should focus more on the stuff we can't really make a J&J video about, but we get asked a lot, because a lot of you guys have asked for dog advice, puppy advice, and I feel like I can't make a whole J&J video on that because our audience, the majority, I feel like just don't have dogs or can't relate. But in the podcast, it's like for a smaller, more exclusive, gluten free exclusive audience, and you guys are special to us. It means a lot. So yeah, we're gonna touch base on that, babe. Do you want to start with the love
Boy.
you know what, it's because I don't read no more. I feel like reading helps you a lot with your speaking.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start with our little life update. It's just a short one. So if you guys, in case you didn't watch our video, we go more in depth and we show you us moving. But we are going to be traveling the world for a month or two. We are actually thinking about moving to Arizona and to Florida. And just yesterday, we actually finally found something in Florida. I just feel like it's so hard to find monthly stays anywhere right now. So we finally found something that has a backyard, that has good lighting, and that will be good for not only for us, but for the dogs. And they allow dogs, and we are very excited. But I think we do, since we're in bed, we're going to be more intimate. This is more intimate for our subscribers because you guys are real ones if you sit there and listen to us for 40 minutes. um I feel like we are in kind of a rut, not a rut, like a limbo. I don't even know how to say it, but yesterday we were like weighing
No,
the
there's no ruts here, babe.
okay,
It's
we
only up.
I know, but yesterday we did get into a little bit of a
Dilemma.
dilemma because we're weighing the pros and cons, and just everything that is happening in our life right now is telling us, yes, go make the move for a month. It's like it's not permanent, just do it. But then yesterday we just got into the logistic side of it, which Mr. Jonathan is the more logical thinker in the relationship, and I'm more of the just do whatever
Yeah.
dreamer. And yeah, do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, guys, obviously in life, I think the best advice I could give is always make a pros and cons chart. Whether it be with a guy, should I stay with him? Should I go? Make a pros and cons. Joining a soccer team, whatever it might be, moving. So we did that yesterday. And the pros is obviously like a new life for a short amount of time, trying out a new, area, urban culture, with moving with our friends. But then there's a lot of pros as well, guys. And I wish there wasn't, but obviously it's super expensive. Like a monthly stay at an Airbnb big enough for us four is ridiculous. We're talking like $3,000 a month. That's almost double what we pay here for a big ass house by ourselves. So that's expensive. And 3,000, guys, that's the cheapest we can find right now. That's the cheapest. Keep in mind, everything is 3,000 and above anywhere, both Phoenix and Tampa. That's one thing. And then the second, I know it seems a little bit like, oh, you guys are thinking about it, but too much. But a new place for our dogs involves like new plants, new animals, new dangers for them. Like leaving them in a backyard in Phoenix when we know there's a lot of danger with like scorpions and spiders, stuff that doesn't exist here in Colorado. The only thing we have to worry about are coyotes, but like we have everything fenced and squirrels. That's the biggest danger we have. But like in Tampa, like I know, like oh, there aren't alligators in every corner, but like there could be, when it floods, it rains, and little shit like that, like iguanas. Like if Ozo bites one, he can get infected. Like just a lot of little stuff, guys, that we worry about a lot, and it seems so little when we were thinking about it, but now it's like okay, like are we actually gonna do this? So that's the logistics part of it.
And I feel like, as he said, you guys are probably like, you guys are thinking too much into it and you're paranoid dog parents. But if you own a dog, you know how important their well-being is to you, and they're literally our life. Like, we have to keep these two beautiful animals alive and well. And just the thought of like, what if Ozo or Chai get bitten by a spider or by a snake? How is the vet gonna cost over there? Because if everything's more expensive over there than here, then we're gonna be putting more things out of our pocket. And it's just, we're kind of stuck because everything's telling us to go. And then just yesterday, when we were finally about to like book the Airbnb, we're like, wait, do we actually want to do this? And I don't know. I don't know how we're going to get over that, but hopefully we will have an update here soon.
Babe, TMI, but I'm literally there's drip coming down my wrist
Of
of
sweat?
sweat.
Why?
Guys, if you have any solutions for sweaty hands and feet, let me know. This is a short commercial break because not just me, I follow this TikToker. She's I don't want to say her pronouns, but she's a girl, but and she struggles the same. Like she literally squeezes her palm and sweat comes out, drops, and that's how I am right now. I get so anxious, and it's a really big problem in my life. Sorry, the ADHD is coming out. I'm just totally changing topics, but like when I shake people, when I meet people, like as soon as I think about meeting someone, my hand starts to sweat, and it's a really big problem because obviously in formal settings I can't have sweaty hands. But yeah, let me know if there's any solutions. I'm sure. Look. It's
Oh my god,
disgusting.
babe, I've never seen that in my
Yeah,
life.
but I think it's because the vanity también, like, está bien prendidote and it's hot, like, I'm sweating. But yeah, guys, going back to the topic, obviously, if they were like Mexican chihuahuas that eat hot Cheetos and beer for breakfast, we wouldn't care. But nos salieron los perros más delicados del mundo. I think it's because they're golden doodles. But let me tell you, Ozo, he's right here. He's not a dog, guys. I am convinced he's like when God was making him, like he got stuck in the factory between a baby, human baby, and a puppy, and like he's a human baby stuck in a dog, if that makes sense. That's why cuando lo regaño o a veces, le doy su nalgadilla, like it's like fuck, it's like hitting a little kid or like, yelling at a little kid because like he's literally, when you hit a dog and or like you get mad at a dog and they're just like, whatever, like they like give you sass, but Ozo like stays quiet, como que si lo regañaron. I went off topic again, but babe, do you think we should do it or not?
I w- I feel like this is what sucks with me. I was very excited. I was ready to drop the money, and then Jonathan, his logistics came, and then I was like, "Oh shish!" Like, you're right. It's scary because I know money comes and goes, and that's what everybody tells you, but that's like a lot of money to be taken from our bank account at once. And then just the fear of something happening to the dogs, and then what if we regret it, and then what if we're like one weekend and we want to leave but we can't get a refund. Like, you don't, I don't know, I feel like
There's a lot, guys. Not just the
there's a lot.
Airbnb, the miles on my truck that I would be putting there and back, the gas, que si se nos puncha una llanta. It's a lot of risk. And you know what? 6 month old or back then, Jonathan would have been like, fuck it, let's do it. But obviously, if it was just us two, no problem. But with dogs, it's different. And there's no way in hell I'm leaving Ozo and Chai for a whole month by themselves. We've thought about maybe, a week in Tampa, week in Phoenix, 2 weeks in Tampa, 2 weeks in Phoenix. Just taking Ozo because, guys, Chai, just in case this does happen, I want some of you guys to back us up in the J&J comments. Guys, Chai loves my family, specifically my dad. She loves them. Like literally right now that they're living with us, We barely see her. She's always downstairs with the kids, watching TV, watching the Avengers, in the room with my dad, in the
Even right
room
now,
right
she's in the
now.
room with
Yeah, we have the
Jonathan's
door closed
sister.
and Ozo's here, but Chai, and that's why we're more comfortable taking Ozo with us because he's a man. He has less dangers of like infections because girls, bitches, their stuff is out there. If that makes sense. But and she wouldn't mind staying, but I know a lot of people would see that at, oh, you're just taking Ozo, or wow, you love Chai less. No, guys, it's like literally Chai. Every time we've left, when we go on trips to LA and stuff, she stays with my family, so she literally loves them so much. So she's having a blast right now with my family here.
Right. And then also, in that sense, we thought, okay, we'll just leave Chai and take Ozo. It'll be better. But then, can you imagine like someone just taking your best friend away from you and you don't see them for a week or for a month and you don't know if they died, or you don't know if you're ever going to see them again? I don't want to put that anxiousness into Ozo because I don't know. I just don't know how the reunion would be, or I don't know what could happen in a month where Chai like forgets about him or he forgets about her, and they don't like each other, they don't get along anymore. So there's so much, and I feel like we're also just psyching ourselves out, and
Yeah.
maybe it's because somewhere deep down we don't want to do it, but I just don't understand why we wouldn't take the opportunity when it's literally right there in our faces.
Yeah, guys. Like I see a lot of your guys' comments. We don't have kids. We don't have that big of a worry, So just fuck it, do it. But no quería niños, pero tenemos perros. So that's another thing. Like, and another thing, like we don't want to leave them alone either. Like I said, because Chai is coming up on her period here soon, or her, what is it called? Her period? Her he. There you go, not her period. And she's too little to have babies. And honestly, Ozo, I'm the alpha here, so Ozo does not even dare to smell Chai. But I've seen that cuando piensa que no lo estoy mirando, ahí anda the little
Smeller sniffer.
smell sniffer trying to get on her. So that's another fear we have. There's a lot of little things, guys. It's not just us wanting because we love our dogs so much. Hay muchas cosas, but we might do it. We're still gonna do it. Maybe. Fuck it.
Yeah, we still have something to talk about, but I think we're leaning more towards doing it. And also, just leave your advice down in the comments if you're older than us or if you're younger than us. Like, would you do it? What would you do with your puppies? Do you think that leaving our dogs here safe and sound with our family is worse than taking them to an unknown environment? Like, let us know what you guys think, because at the end of the day, we are just going to do what's best for us and what's best for them. But we also have to keep you guys in mind, because we have this platform and we don't want to disappoint you in any way. But also, I don't know, just
Yeah, I feel
be.
like we also care about, like, we aren't those YouTubers that like turn off their comments or don't even address them, guys. We honestly genuinely care about you guys, and that's why we care about your opinion. But I think to some extent we love you guys, but I think we should also do what makes us happy. Like, we know a couple these YouTubers are huge, they're mostly white audience, but they went to Australia and left their dog for 3 months, 3 whole months, guys. And that's because it was during the pandemic and stuff. But like they came back and like nothing happened. And so I was like, 3 months. We're just gonna do like 2 weeks or a month max. But whatever.
Yeah, so we'll keep you guys updated for sure. And if you guys want to see more in-depth moving vlogs, they will all be on J&J Vlogs. Plug, plug, plug. But I think that is our life update for now. We honestly have been living with my suegros for like
2 days.
2 days, and I couldn't say more. I love it. Home cooked meals every day. His mom cooks. Chef's kiss. It's honestly great, because now this house feels like a home, because there's always people here coming in and out. We come home where the dogs are with someone, or the kids are, living it up and putting life into this house. So I'm very, very happy. But then that's another thing. Like, estamos conviviendo tanto que we're really gonna like leave when we have the opportunity to stay here and just live with them, which will probably never come around again.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. But
What should we transition into now?
let's just leave it at that. You guys leave the comments, give us your advice, please, and then give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. But I think today we want to stop talking about us and steer it on over to you guys, and we're going to be answering some advice emails. If you guys want to send your emails in, our email is spillthebeansjj@gmail.com. And I don't want to sound rude, But if you guys are sending emails in, it is more likely for us to read it if you have bullet points, and if it's not 3 paragraphs long, just summarize it, because then we don't want to like take too long on one and then not give other people the chance. So just make them shorter, bullet points, and we'll read it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, guys. Like Jalissa said, no mean we don't mean to be rude or anything. You're more than welcome to send your story that maybe you made too long again, a little bit shorter. It's just put yourself in other shoes. You know, if you're we do this for the people that are commuting to work, working out, or doing something in a short time frame, and that's why you guys listen to us. So just take in mind, like, would you want to listen to like a 30-minute reading story? When you have to be somewhere, when you have to do something, when you have to go back to school or get ready for work. So yeah, short and sweet would be better, guys, just to take everyone into consideration. That'd be great.
So I think both of us screenshotted a couple emails, and that's where we'll go to a little advice segment. If your subject line is like cool or como se dice,
Catchy.
catchy, it's more likely to open it. So this one says, "Open me, lol." First off, I have watched, listened to you guys for the longest. Thank you. Backstory: my husband is 22 years old and I'm 23. We were dating for 5 years and we have been married for 4 months. I feel overwhelmed sometimes with me doing most of the house duties. I have no issues with it, by the way. It's just nice to have someone to help. We both work 40 plus hours, and sadly, he never had any family support, but he grew up way too young, and I feel like it's because of the lack of parent support. His mother passed away, and his father really hasn't been involved in his life. I catch myself feeling that I'm more like a parent figure, trying to show him right from wrong or doing everything for him. I understand it isn't his fault because he wasn't taught when he was young. My question is, what would you do in my shoes? How would you start a conversation about it without triggering him? Thanks in advance, y Dios los bendiga.
They're 24.
22, the husband's 22 and she's 23.
It's very hard to give advice, and you know it's genuine when it comes when we think about it before we speak. Because obviously I haven't lost my mother. I don't have a bad relationship with my dad. I love my dad, and like I just can't give advice like that when there's trauma involved. You know what I mean? So we'll try our best to help you, girl. But like, obviously, you know him. You read his manners. You know his tolerance in terms of triggerness. You know what I mean? There's other people that you can like. For me personally, I'd rather Blanca tell me straight up something instead of sugarcoating, que enojadilla, que molesta. No, I'd rather her go straight up to me and be like, Jonathan, I think you're doing this. That won't trigger me. But what triggers me is if I notice her acting different and me having to ask her what's wrong, and then her, nothing's wrong. That triggers me. Then I get pissed. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I've always been straight up with you. So you learn from him and see what works.
Yeah, I feel like by now, you should know what his body language is, and you should know when it is the right time to approach him and when the right time to have a conversation is. And if you feel like you don't want to trigger him, I would start just a light conversation. Don't go straight into him and be like, also, don't use you messages. Use I messages. So don't be like, you don't ever help around the house. You don't do this. You don't do that, because that's going to trigger him. That will trigger anybody, because you're making them guilty of something that maybe they don't feel guilty of. So I would say you need to start the conversation very lightly and then go into the rough parts. Like, you can be like, hey, how you're feeling? How has your week been? How are you at work? And then kind of have a feel for how he's feeling, and then go and be like, well, this is how I'm feeling. And then you tell him what you're feeling. I would also say be sensitive with it and just take your time with it. Don't go in thinking it's going to be an argument, because hopefully it's just going to be a conversation where you're communicating what you need and what needs you need to be met. But I can't say, like Jonathan said, he or we both, we can't tell someone what to do because of trauma involved, and you never know how someone deals with trauma, how they cope with it. But as I have said before, Jonathan, I mean, when he was working full time and coming home at 6 7 p.m., he would still help around the house, so I don't know where to stand there, because I've never had to tell Jonathan, like, hey, you need to do this, and can you please help me around the house? Like, if he sees something, he does it. I've never had to be a parent figure to him or tell him what's right or what's wrong. And I feel like, do you think that's how you grew up?
Yeah, I think I grew up good like that.
Like you grew up learning how to help around the house and all of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I can't sit here and be like, you have to tell him. Like, no, because as you said, he didn't grow up like that. He didn't have support. So like I said, just have a sensitive conversation with him and let him know what you're feeling and what needs you need him to meet.
And then, but for talking about that, Jalissa obviously being a woman, she's more on the sensitive side. Me, guys, look, let me tell you about something. And this might like not trigger some of you, but it's the hard truth. Sometimes, and I'm talking from experience because this happened to me. I had trauma when I was little, shit happened. And then I held that resentment up until a large majority of my life towards my parents. And it's like one time my mom's just like, not like she literally said get over it, but like life goes on. Like they ask for forgiveness. Like, and that's the thing with people with trauma, guys. And I feel like in a way, guys are a little bit more divas when it comes to stuff like this. So watch out, watch out. I'm getting there. You talk to him, be nice. If he's still being a dickhead or like he's too traumatized, no me cuide. Snap out of it. You're almost 24 or you're going to be 23, 24, whatever. You're thinking about kids. You have a job. You're an adult. Get over it. And I mean that with all your support. You got me here as a support. You maybe you didn't have your parents, but I'm here for you, you know? I'm here for you. You have my family, you have my siblings, and you cannot, guys, the most straining thing for a woman I think is carrying a guy that has all this trauma and doesn't want to get over it. Might be a little bit deep for all you guys, you younger listeners you're listening to right now, but I'm talking to the older audience here right now. Sometimes trauma, we hold on to it and we just don't want to move on. We're too hurt. We're too hurt. But guys, there has to be that little breach of just get over it. And I know it sounds fucked up. You can't just tell a traumatized person get over it. Obviously, guys, there's sexual abuse stuff like that that does not pertain to this. But like stuff like that where like he doesn't want to help you around the house or stuff because he didn't learn. No, no, no. Póngase las pilas and we're gonna get over this because you have me now. All right. Because after you get married, the most important person in your life turns into your wife. So he doesn't, like I said, I can't speak from experience because I haven't lost my mother. But if I did, and I'm speaking like if I have, then I would turn all my trust and faith into, my wife because that's the most important person. So if he talked to him, like Jalissa said, try Jalissa's way first. Obviously, be nice, be open, be there with open hands. But if he doesn't want to surpass himself as a man, then that's when you gotta put your foot down because if you're gonna carry that trauma for a long time, it's gonna be a draining, long relationship that's gonna lead to divorce. You're gonna get tired.
Yeah, and also I feel like you can, as Jonathan said, get over it, but he can also work through it. I know that in our culture, therapy isn't very popular, but you can give that idea. And another thing, like Jonathan said, it is draining and you can't be his punching bag, you know? I used to tell Jonathan a lot this when we were younger, but like I can't be your punching bag. Like if you had a bad day at work, if you had a rough day at home, if don't come and throw it to me because I personally didn't do anything to affect your mood. So you can't be his punching bag because at the end of the day, if you don't communicate, if you don't do what either I or Jonathan said, then when you come to tell him that you want to just leave, like separate, he's going to be like, "What? Why?" And then you don't have anything to back you up because you never told him, you never brought it up to his attention that you didn't like how he was. So I feel like this will end very bad if you don't address things now.
Yep. Well said, babe.
Thanks, babe. Now I think we're going to go ahead and transition into puppy advice.
Yeah, guys, like I said, a lot of you guys, both on my DMs and YouTube videos, have been asking for like advice because you see Ozo like and Chai, like I'm pretty proud of them, honestly. Like I did a good job. Like I opened the door, they don't go running out, because a lot of dogs they open the door, y salen a gorro, like if you don't feed them and love them, they like run away or they chew on your stuff. We never had a problem with that. And I know previously because a lot of you guys are gonna come at me when I say like hitting, like I don't abuse them, I don't like beat the shit out of them for no reason, When I mean like getting physical with them, it's because dogs they're wolves, they were wolves. So obviously to assert dominance, the bigger wolf, the alpha, he doesn't necessarily hit them, but he like shows them who's boss. So with Ozo, I don't hit him, I don't hit him, but I do wrestle with him to the point where like he knows he can't beat me. If that makes sense, I pick him up, I show him who's boss, in a nice way. So I feel like that has assorted like my dominance, because I feel like a lot of people, they have these big dogs, but they have like a shy personality, and a lot of girls, they get dogs and they don't know the dog. Obviously, like if it was just Ozo and Jalissa, Ozo would be the alpha. He would do whatever he wanted, but because he knows I'm here, he listens to me. So that's the main advice I'm gonna give to you guys with your puppy, if you have one, especially if it's gonna be a larger working breed like a German Shepherd Pit Bull. Do this quick. Assert your dominance with them. Move your hand in their food. Don't let them growl at you. Pick them up. Show them who's boss. You know what I mean? Um, if they do something bad, don't be scared to grab their snout and like tell them no, like that's bad. I see all these people like, no, no, Mr. Sniffles, no, come here, no. Obviously, the dog's gonna do whatever he wants. Ozo, at the end of the day, loves me. He respects me. I'd rather have a dog that respects me than a dog that. And then I've always heard this, guys. Not training your dog is form of abuse, and I've heard that before, and I was like, that's kind of, you're taking it too far. But when I've seen other people's untrained dogs, and I'm like, wow, like that is kind of like abuse, like your dog not knowing how to do stuff, or like it running away, like that's putting it at danger. You know what I mean? So obviously, guys, don't be scared to be a little harsh with your dog. And when I mean harsh, obviously don't like twist my words and just scream this, and send it to the police. I mean, like, assert your dominance with him, because at the end of the day, he's gonna love you way, way more. He's gonna respect you. You're gonna have better. Uh, this is the first tip of advice: assert your dominance, and then all the other training will come easy. Sit. He'll listen to you. He'll make eye contact with you. You open the door, he's gonna come back to you because he loves you. If he's alpha, he obviously wants to explore the whole block and see who else is on the block. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're the alpha in your household. Okay, and that's how Ozo's a good dog.
Ichai?
Y Chai is más cabrona, pero también like she takes off Ozo. Guys, Ozo's such a good dog. Like I cannot explain how good of a dog. And sometimes I'm a little too harsh with him in terms of what I want him to do and not do. But I'm like, he's just a puppy. Like he's not gonna work for the police. Like there's no need for him to know crazy ass commands. So, but he knows the basics, and that's what I'm happy with.
And Chai?
And Chai, no, Chai listens, guys. But when she's saying this, is because what? What do you mean? She does
No, I
everything
just want
Ozo
you to
does.
talk about how Chai was much, much, much more difficult to
Oh,
train.
chai was much harder because look, another piece of advice, guys, and this one's huge. Say you had a good dog when you were young, your parents, and he died, and you get a new dog. Do not compare that dog. He's not gonna be the same, guys. Igual con tus hijos, like real human babies. Every person has a different personality. So my mistake at the beginning was, Chai. If Ozo was a good golden doodle, Chai's gonna be good as well. No, guys, they learn differently. Chai, not to be meaner, but she's a little dumber, so it took harder to be potty trained.
I don't think she's dumber. I think she's more stubborn. And she doesn't care
I think
much.
she has like Alzheimer's, like her dad. She forgets things, so like she'll be super scared and super like, I see like, I'll never do it again, dad type of mood. But then because she come licks me, but then she does it again. So I'm like, either she forgets or I see the stubbornness. So just keep that in mind, guys. Every dog is different, okay? Not all dogs are the same. Even if you get the same breed, two German Shepherds, two Golden, they're gonna be completely different, guys, because of their personalities. It's just how it is.
Yeah, and I just feel like at the beginning we were really harsh on ourselves. We're like, why is this taking so much longer? But I did read a statistic at the before I even got a golden doodle. It said 50% of golden doodles come out and they're very calm, very easy to train, and the other 50% are freaking crazy and good luck Charlie. And so when we got Ozo, we're like, oh heck yeah, dude, we got the 50% that's very calm. Because I also, he had one poop accident in the apartment and
And it was my
never,
fault.
yes, and he has never ever ever pooped in our house again. When we started leaving him by himself, we would go for an hour and then 2 hours, and then one time we left him alone for like 6 hours, and we got home, nada, opened the door, he went, pooped and peed. So we were like, oh yeah, this is easy money. So he got Chai, and it was just a whole different story. And I just feel like with Ozo, you would tell him to do something once and he does it. It was very easy for him to remember commands, very easy for him to sit. He sat so early on. But Chai, on the other hand, yeah, you have to tell her the same thing like 10 times in one day and then 10 times the next day, because I feel like she forgets a lot, she's stubborn, and she's also crazier. Like Chai has done things that also has never done before. So I think you just have to remember that you have to train them different and give them both different attention, and just you have to treat them different because they're not the same dog. Even when twins are born, they are
Yeah.
the probably the complete opposite of each other. So yeah, you guys have to be very, very, very patient with your
And do
puppies.
your research, guys. Honestly, don't just get a German Shepherd because they look cool, or you saw Chihuahuas in the movie and you wanted a German Shepherd. Like, don't. Like, see where you live. If you live in an apartment, weigh to what you want to get. Do your research. Even for corny, I did so much research of a lizard before I got him, guys. And same thing with golden doodles. I've had bigger, more aggressive breeds. So when we got those, I was like, this is gonna be a piece of cake. But yeah, do your research, guys, and assert dominance, and know that every dog has a different personality.
Yes, but I feel like before any of that, you have to make sure that you are ready to give all of your life to them, because I don't think I hate anything more than when someone gets a dog and then gives them away in a couple months.
Yeah, that's the
Because why? Because
shittiest.
you don't know how much time it was going to take, how much money it was going to take. You didn't know how much of your life was going to just be dedicated to them. So you have to be sure that you are going to keep this dog for all of his life, which is probably 16 to 18 years, And I just have to say that you have to treat them with care. I know a lot of people that don't take good care of their puppies, that don't take them to get their vaccines. Like when we were at the dog park once, this beautiful puppy came into the dog park, and Jonathan and I looked at each other and we're like, dude, he cannot be 4 months. Like, I just know he's not 4 months. And you asked them, and how old was he?
10 weeks.
He was 10 weeks old. And I was like, dude, do you understand? Even the dog park rule says, like, your dog has to be fully vaccinated. Don't bring him if he's younger than 4 months. Because why? Because they can get so many bacteria. They can get parasites. They'll get sick and die. So that's why a lot of puppies die from parvo, because you introduce them to unknown environments too soon. And I know you're probably like, you're being such a paranoid dog mom, but I think that is the worst. Like putting myself in a shoe where I got Ozo, he was a puppy, and then he died because he got
Yeah.
parvo, I would not be okay for the rest of my life. So you have to think about that. You have to think of all the money that you're spending on the puppy, like just buying it, and then the vet bills, and then the food bills, and all of that, because food is not cheap, and we got to buy food every like 2 weeks
Two
or
weeks.
something like that. So I just feel like you have to be very prepared. And I know it's not a child, it's not a baby, but it comes kind of close to it, and you just have to know that it's gonna be a
Kind of
hard.
close, as in like 1 in 1,000.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not very.
Not
I'm
very
not,
close.
because I know baby is much harder.
That was a little bit of a puppy advice, because I know a lot of you guys, if you guys want more, or like how I do specific things, now I taught him to like wait until I tell him to eat. And she's like, that's so mean. Let me hold your food. But it's good to have self control. Your dog has self control, because there's a lot of dogs that are overweight and they grab the food like they've never ate before in their life. So
And also, I don't want you guys to think that our dogs are absolutely perfect, because Ozo
hell
comes
no.
close to being perfect, to be honest. When it was only him by himself, there's not one time that we were so upset with him and like did not want to look at him. But our dogs aren't perfect, because Ozo, he's good on his own, but with Chai, it's otro rollo, dude. Whatever Chai does, Ozo does, and he knows that they'll both get away with it, or they both go down together. So don't think that our dogs are perfect by any means. We took a long time. Well, Jonathan Moore took a long time training Chai, and we went through a rough, rough, rough patch with her. And I just don't want you guys to ever think that they're perfect, because they're not. We still have times when we are really upset with them, but don't just feel like if you're in a rough patch right now with your dog that it's never gonna end, because it does, and you just have to be patient and train them
Yeah,
more.
guys, it ends. So train, guys. I know it's like an investment. Like go out there and start playing with and teach them things. Like nothing's more sad than an untrained dog, because he's gonna suffer. You know what I mean? Like no, no, you can't go on a trip y dejárselo a tu amigo alguien if he's just gonna be shitting around the house, or doing stuff like that. It's like your kid, if you're a mom, represents you if you leave him with someone. Your
Yes.
dog represents you. You know what I mean? How you take care of him.
And I feel like that's why we got to the point where our family's like, whenever you're out of town, we will gladly take care of them. And my sisters like call me like, can we see Ozo? Can we babysit the dogs? You know, and that's what you want. You don't want your freaking dogs to like not be liked by anyone and like you can't leave out of town because you can't leave them with anybody. You know, so just train them and do your research and learn what's best for you. Because oh, also I did want to tell you guys, because a lot of you or even your friends don't ask us like, where do you guys leave them when you leave? And we're like, oh, we just let them roam around the house, because that's how they were trained. But if what's better for you is to kennel train them, then that's better for you. You know, that's just how I feel like that's just how we grew up with free roaming dogs, and that's how we decided to train our dogs.
Mhm. Very well said.
And yeah, I
But
think
guys,
that was a lot of
they're gonna
puppy
have
talk.
puppies very soon. Not soon, but Ozo and Chai. If you guys were gonna address this, let's just address it now.
Let's just tell you guys what our future plans are.
Ozo and Chai will be having puppies later on. We're thinking Octoberish because that's when Chai will be officially, 18 months, or close to it, I think, and that's when dogs should have babies. But it's not.
Okay, let me tell you guys. We're doing our research. That's our next venture. We also don't want you guys to think that we're going to be backyard breeders and just like not take care of them. No, even Jonathan, like he's doing more of the research because he's gonna be taking more care of that because I'm just a chicken. But we're gonna do our research, take the puppies to the vet, take Chai to the vet to get ultrasounds and do all of this. We're gonna do everything right. So don't think we're gonna like be running a puppy mill in our backyard.
Yeah. But guys might be asking like, why are you guys having babies? And it's very simple. We want Ozo because he's such a great dog. I know we keep hyping it up, guys, but you guys gotta meet him. We want Ozo to leave like his little legacy. Ozo's gonna pass in like 12, 14 years, whatever.
Damn.
But we want to be like our subscriber in town has a Ozo's son. Oh, our parents got Ozo's grandchild. Oh, Chai, granddaughter. Like we want Ozo to never die, if that makes sense. We want to make him immortal. So we want to be 60, 70 and know that like the front neighbor or one of you, because we're going to be, it's gonna be an interview kind of because we wanted to give it to just any random person,
Mm-mm.
but our subscriber, we get pictures from you guys when we're 50 because so like in that way, if that makes sense, we just don't want to ever see Ozo die and be seeing his third generation or whatever. Like obviously, we're not gonna breed Chai more than like a couple times, but like knowing that his son went with another golden doodle and like that's Ozo, that's Ozo's blood. So
Yeah, and we also plan like when she has her last litter to keep one of them, and to it's so sad to say, but hopefully that puppy will outlive them, and so when they pass, unfortunately, we're still gonna have a piece of them, and
mhm.
then that puppy can hopefully have babies, and then we'll keep their babies, and then we'll just never let Ozo and Chai die because
Yeah,
that's gonna be
guys.
so freaking sad. Woo!
Maybe when COVID ends and we go on tours, not tours, but like we visit friends, Ozo will be trained enough to be in airports and stuff normal so you guys can meet him because, guys, he's honestly the best. Like, he's not even like a dog, he's like a roommate, if that makes
He's like
sense.
a real life person.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
if it was any other dog, I don't think I would care about breeding to keep him alive, like to see him when I'm 50 or 60. But like with Ozo, like, yeah, I can't imagine my life without him. So, yeah, guys, that's why.
Yeah, so that is our next venture. We're still doing research. We're just gonna do whatever is healthy for her, and that's it.
And that's why like this all connects, guys, with us leaving to Florida or Phoenix and like just wanting to take Ozo because if we time it right, because it's been 6 months since her last heat, so if we time it right, her next heat would be here soon. And that way, there's no sneaky links while we're out, or like some sneaky shit in the backyard, and she's too little. Like they're separated during her heat because Ozo will go crazy. Your dog will go crazy when your female's in heat. It's just what happens. So
Yep.
but anyways, guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Am I boring you?
No. Do you notice that every single podcast I have to yawn?
Yeah, well, don't yawn when I'm saying have a good Friday, guys.
Sorry.
We love you. I hope you made it safe to work or you're getting ready. Have a great Friday, guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, like a couple more hours, you'll be out of work. You enjoy the weekend, have fun, be safe, and
Go out in nature, do
yeah,
things that you can do, and have a good Friday and a good weekend. And we will see you guys next Friday.
next Friday.
Wow, that was so late.
I was like your echo. Okay, bye, guys.
Okay, bye.